Hello and happy Thursday. Coming at you live here from Insight Production Studios in Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Robert Morales from RCO Network. RCO Network, good people, better business, discovering the best of you. For the next hour, we're going to be talking to a very special guest of mine about her life, about her businesses, and all this social or blue social stuff. We'll also be taking questions live, so if you can type in those questions at the bottom in the little comment section, we'll be answering as we go along. If you're watching us live, give us a little heart emoji, because we love the loves. If you're watching this on the replay, hit the little wow emoji because, wow, I can't believe you're not watching this live. Like us here on Facebook, hit that little button. Uh-oh, let me get back there. We got to go back here. So like us here on Facebook or follow us on Instagram or LinkedIn at RCO Network. Follow us and log on to www.rconetwork.com for more information about marketing your business and sponsorship during these broadcasts, because we do have a new sponsor today, which I'm excited to play her video. So today's show, in the aspect of social networking, you know, the company RCO Network is formed on the interpersonal relationships, genuine connections in formats where we get to really talk to each other and really have a moment together. And those were that encompasses what our live events were all about. Since COVID, since this whole thing has been kind of shifted us, we've moved over to more online marketing and supporting our small businesses. This is why we started these Zoom calls and why we're connecting here. LinkedIn, in my mind, was always that realm of like, it was like very ego driven. I hated LinkedIn, but then I started getting into it. And as I started getting more into it because of COVID, I came across a very interesting character that caught my attention, you know. So that is the premise of why she's here and why we're talking. LinkedIn is a good resource. So as much as I dismissed it before, it's definitely a good resource to get into if you use it the right way. So as I preface that, I am excited to introduce my guest, and I will do so by talking about her bio a little bit. And this is the short version, okay? This is like the smaller version of what she's really all about, and you got to go to her LinkedIn page to find out more about her. But she is a daughter of immigrant parents from Mexico and the Philippines. She has a passion for understanding universal law through physics, has a bachelor's degree in holistic study, metaphysics, marketing, education, as well as a master's degree in counseling, international speaker for topics of business, psychology, blockchain policy, and privacy. She is the co-founder of Blue Social and so much more. Please welcome Miss Christen Leonor Santos Montero.
Thank you.
We got to play the audience because we don't have a live audience, so we got to bring them in.
Awesome.
Ms. Christen, hello. How are you?
Hi. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for having me on.
It's all fun. You know, when I first saw your profile, I did see you're into psychology, and that always kind of gets me going because I'm a nerd about psych too. My background, I don't know if you read my profile. My background is in child abuse investigation. So I did a lot of behavioral assessments to predict and remove children, you know, from parents. And so whenever I see somebody that's in kind of psychology, behavioral health stuff, I get nerded out a little bit. So and that's why I connected with you. And so do you want to talk a little bit about you and kind of your business? Just a small snippet. But.
Yeah. So I am part of a couple different ventures actually and sit on a couple different boards. The biggest one that's really been taking the limelight right now is Blue Social. Blue Social is a tech startup that has built a software. We have it integrated into an app, a mobile app, as well as a hardware, which we called the Blue Smart Card. And just recently, we just launched Blue Smart Buttons. Our whole goal is to really advance technology for social good and really encourage people to be social again, because we're very connected more than ever before online, yet we're more disconnected in real life. And, you know, even before COVID happened, there was a lot happening already with effects to social skills and child development in the millennial generation and the younger generations after. And so me and my brother originally started Blue Social. My brother is the huge visionary of it all. And I help with all of the branding and help with really running operations and really getting it off the floor and scaling along with our father. So you can check us out at blue.social, and I'll be happy to, talk a little bit more about it in a
Well,
bit here.
we'll actually get into the core structure while you're here too. That's in our second segment. So if everybody hangs around, we got some giveaways to do, Blue Social giveaways. I guess we can kind of mention what it is. If you stick around to the end of the program today, we're going to be giving away 2 free smart buttons, as you mentioned, right?
Yep. We'll be
right.
giving away 2 innovative products.
So you have to stick around and wait for those questions to come in. I have a couple of test questions. So, but going back and talking about you a little bit, how old are you, by the way? Because people misguess my age, and people are amazed that I'm 41. And it seems like after looking at your profile, there's so many things that you've been involved in. How can somebody as young as you be involved in all this stuff? How does that work?
Yeah. Well, I'm 28, and
that's what I thought.
They usually say don't ever ask a woman her age, but I'm proud to be where I am in my life. Definitely. I started out as a young actor and model in the entertainment industry when I was 15, and I've always danced my whole life. So naturally, when I turned 18, I was just very eager to be able to go to auditions, casting calls without having to work around my parents' schedule. I was one of those kids that were going on set and having to go to school on set to comply with education laws and things like that. I think that, along with going into modeling school and acting school at the time, really formed kind of my foundation of who I am today. At the same time, I really just started getting involved in different things. So I really tried out just becoming a brand ambassador, right, for brands, starting from the bottom and then working your way up to field manager, all the way up to account manager and things like that. And so just really getting different experiences. I think opportunities are around you all the time, right? And how they come into my life, typically I'm not searching for them. They just present themselves. And it's always important to really be aware of the relationships and the people that are around you, and really see how you can help other people, and naturally things will come back to you.
Yeah, and see, like on a philosophical level, I've done a lot of self-reflection, and all the things that I applied during my previous career in investigation, I really started applying to myself. And I truly believe there's 3 different realms that we're constantly stuck in. And I think this is where a lot of our small businesses get stuck. That first realm is understanding your physical presence here. The second challenge we have is being human, is understanding that emotional realm. And that emotional realm is kind of the bridge into our spiritual. And you kind of mentioned, things kind of manifesting and coming into your life. And I truly believe that is I guess if there was a God, I have some opinions about what God is and stuff, but that's another story, another day. But I believe that there is a God out there that kind of presents these things to us. And if we don't have a grasp of our physical realm and not a true understanding of our emotional, we do miss those opportunities, and we do kind of forego what is presented in front of us. And I don't know if that's been kind of your experience, or if that's been something that you reflected upon. I've recently been more involved in philosophy, so it's kind of interesting that you bring that spiritual piece up.
Yeah. So I don't want to get into religion too much, but the philosophical, spiritual side, and even talking about science, right? I don't even like to categorize it in categories like that. But when you understand, humanity at its basic form, when you get to the microscopic and then the quantum level of understanding molecules, you come to understand that everything is made up of energy. Everything is made up of, in essence, the same thing. At the same time, us as humans, we radiate energy. We have, we're made up of energy, and just like anything else, energy attracts certain things, and by just like a positive and negative, some pull, some push away. And I would say that when it comes to the law of attraction, right, for some people who have seen the Netflix series, The Secret, there's also What the Bleep Do We Know? Those are some really good, just resources to really learn about things on more of a quantum molecular level. And also MIT did recently, 2 years ago, was able to prove that there's human intuition. So if we can put a scientific finger on measuring and proving human intuition, the sky's the limit. And it's not just with science, it's with our own selves and understanding, because there will become a point, I think, where there are things that happen that we can't explain. Kind of like, I give the simple example of, you can be driving on the freeway, driving 80 miles per hour, and staring at the person that happens to be staying right along with you. And when you look at them, and when you're looking at them, they don't realize it, but at some moment, even though you're going 80 miles per hour in your own space, you can't hear them, you can't feel them, touch them in a sense physically, you still, quote unquote, feel them enough to where when you look, you catch them looking at you.
Yeah.
And things like that, we all know are truths within humanity, or things that we experience ourselves. So I would just ask the audience to kind of reflect on that.
Yeah,
Truly, things can be so interconnected energetically and all around us.
yeah, and I truly believe things are meant to happen the way they're supposed to. And relationships, people, because that's primarily, I think, why we're here, is relating to people and connecting with them. And what I saw of the story that Blue Social had, that resonated with me, because that's always been my challenge too: how to connect with people genuinely and not necessarily take advantage, or try to monetize on a genuine connection. We still have to feed our face and live at the end of the day. How do we do that and still maintain that sense of altruism?
Yeah.
But I did want to highlight a little bit. You have a couple different businesses, right? You're not just about Blue Social, which we'll get into in the next segment. But what other businesses do you have?
Yeah, so I launched my own consulting firm last year called Marketing Consulting Agency,
Yeah.
and we are a full service firm. And what I did was, I also launched an internship program to give back to students and provide opportunities to really learn and develop their skills. When I was in college, I had no idea that we were supposed to do internships and graduate with an internship. I think I was really just caught up at the time, just enjoying life and graduating, that I didn't realize there was still a whole game to play. And I also come from a area where there's not a lot of opportunity. And so even the high school that I came from, many of us are, blessed to even have graduated, let alone go off to college. So having friends and seeing how sometimes the lack of resources and the gap of disparity between classes in society, um, it really pushes me to want to find ways of what I can do myself. So I launched the internship program with MCA. We recruit students from some of the top universities. At the same time, I have a role that the consultants on our team have to have a minimum of a master's degree and up.
Yeah.
Really value education. So that was just one of the requirements. And then I also started a fashion technology company that's more of a startup called Cannabis Lifestyle. And we focus on creating a marketplace and helping international designers be able to gain market share in the United States. At the same time, protecting designers so that they no longer, in our vision is, so they no longer are exploited, right? Because you have designers that, their brand lives on past them. And now there's designers that, instead of getting to live and have their moment, now they're getting hired and bought under a brand. And so there's a lot of, in the creative field, it's one thing to do fashion design and create amazing pieces. It's another thing to run a business.
Yeah.
And so that's where we come in. And with Cannabis Lifestyle, we really help in that market and really in the horticulture. So very high end exclusive designer wear, where they create pieces that only 6 pieces in that size exist in the entire world. One of the designers that we're planning to really close up a deal with right now, who's actually been manufacturing some product, is Youssef Kimon in Lebanon. So last year towards the end of the year, right before COVID, I actually took a trip to Europe. I had a speaking engagement in Paris where I was speaking on digital marketing and providing some research and best practices of how people can approach marketing to the millennial generation. At the same time, I also took the opportunity to meet with designers, set up meetings, and really build partnerships while I was out there, look at product, to decide on how we want to move forward and who we want to move forward with. So I traveled to Barcelona, Malta, and France, specifically. So.
Yeah, and there's honestly so much more that if they read your profile and if they troll you on Instagram like I did, there's so much to you that it's hard to encapsulate in just a short amount of time. I know we have an hour today, but it's so hard to do that. Now, I did want to show pictures a little bit here of kind of what I trolled and found. This was one of, I don't know if you can kind of describe what this was. It's obviously a teaching engagement that you had. Do you remember where this was?
Yeah, actually, it was at UCR. I was speaking on the entrepreneurial mindset and what it means to have the entrepreneurial mindset to a group of students that were in an entrepreneur course. The
That's
biggest
awesome.
thing, from that was really teaching them that life is kind of like a mandala, an unknown labyrinth, and we are the architecture at the same time. So it was all about kind of the journeys of what you go through, and your mindset is starting as an entrepreneur to eventually growing a business.
Do you charge for those events too, or is that something that our audience can check you out at or find you at or something like that? Or is that something they have to go to Europe for?
No, if anybody wants me to speak at any engagements, whether it's just to share my story or to truly lecture or do a workshop or seminar of some sort, they can reach me directly at my email. I really just do it on the side. Sometimes I do it for just pure passion for like Boys and Girls Club, for organizations that may not necessarily be able to afford speakers.
Yeah. Well, does that mean I can maybe get you to commit to our next event? Whenever we have in-person events again, we usually have a guest speaker and we do sponsor nonprofits, to try to raise money for them. So maybe we can talk offline with that. Gabby, if you're watching, can you make a footnote of that? I did, and before our commercial break, which we're about to take, I did want to highlight a couple other things, just because I did find them interesting. In the advertisement, we said that you were influential Filipino of the year, or I don't remember the title exactly. Most influential Filipino.
Most influential Filipina in the world. So I was recognized as an emerging leader right next to one of the first Filipina mayors in Daly City.
Is that what this ad was? I just trolled it and found it.
Yeah, so that was the event where I was one of the awardees and getting recognized in London in 2015.
That's awesome. And then there was a couple other ones. We're about to go into our first commercial for our sponsor, but again, I just wanted to highlight a couple other awards. This one is Asia's Leader Technopreneur. Is that for Blue Social? Or is that for another?
Yeah, that one's for Blue Social. So the ACES award is a pretty prestige award in South Asia, and they really recognize some of the top business leaders in Singapore, throughout all of South Asia. And so that was my most recent one, and it was also on behalf of Blue Social. And the one for Filipino Women's Network, that one was more personal endurance and career paths that I had taken, getting recognized for, and then the start of Blue Social at the time.
Yeah, and again, there's so much more. I have a whole list of things I want to talk about. I just kind of know, like, when we do these things, we're just short on time, and people just have to follow you. So we'll be giving out your contact information towards the end of the show. But as we come to the first end of our segment, we do have a new sponsor, Miss Lolita Wellness. We're going to be playing her video, and then stick around, hang out. We're going to be giving a giveaway, so hang in for that, and we're going to be doing that just after the video. So. See you guys in just 2 minutes.
I knew I had much more to share. I knew I had passion for more things. I believe in fitness, but I believe in much more than that. I didn't want to make it just about the body, but I want to make it about the mind and the spirit too. God has blessed me with a lot of energy and strength and fire. I can feel it in me, and to make others feel good. And I love doing that. No matter what happens, up or downs is part of the ride. That's how we become the person that we're meant to be. If we embrace life how it's supposed to be, that's how we can become the best versions of ourselves. Happiness is something that we can work from our internal work. Everything about the present moment or how beautiful everything can be when we actually embrace the moment. Lolita Wellness is a dream that we as human beings can be complete and happy if we concentrate in the priorities that we should concentrate. This is Lali Peña, owner of Lolita Wellness, and this is our CEO network. I feel awesome. I love it, love it, love it.
That was Miss Lali Peña from Lolita Wellness. Go to lolitawellness.com for more information about your spiritual and fitness needs, because she focuses more on that piece of it. So I did want to welcome you guys back. We do have Miss Christen here from Blue Social to talk actually about Blue Social, not about her life, even though her life is just full of just interesting things. I even get to show some of the pictures from around the world that she's been in, which I wanted to do too. But hello, Miss Christen. How are you? So this Blue Social stuff, we did highlight at the beginning of the show, and you did talk a little bit in synopsis. But I did want to focus in on more of the vision, I guess, how this started. And what I'm going to do is, we'll play the video in a second, but talk to us a little bit about what Blue Social is again, and what the premise is behind it.
Yeah, sure thing. So since, me and my brother have been growing up, the use of mobile phones have become heavier, going from flip phones, sidekicks, to now these screens that even fold and open up and are full on screen touch screen.
You never had a brick phone? Oh.
My cousin had a pager.
Oh boy. Yeah, I've been there too.
Back in the days. But since the use of mobile technology has increased, so has social media. And since we've grown up, we grew up with MySpace, now it's Facebook, now we have Instagram, TikTok, all these platforms that we choose to connect on with our friends, and our friends will have all of our different platforms. The thing is, though, is that it actually ended up affecting society in a bit of a negative way because of how algorithms were created. I saw that back then, a lot of people were starting to become glued to their phone. I couldn't understand why, because my intention when I was living was purposely to reject it when it was first happening, even though now here I am in the innovative side of technology, right? Funny how that works.
Yeah.
But I've always been kind of really resistant to some, new ways of technology growing up. And that was part of the reason. And because I saw my friends starting to not be as social, they would prefer to just sit on their phones, spending time together instead of conversating, laughing, playing games, doing, different things that really enhance in-person connections. And my brother at the time, when he started going to school and college at RCC, he had realized that, everybody, it was their first day, but everyone was so comfortable being on their social media instead of getting to know the new students around them in real life.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing was that sometimes, a lot of people have all these social networks, and we also chose to start sharing our Instagram handle instead of our phone numbers. And there was no way to be able to share all of them at once either. So not only was there an issue with being able to connect the way we all wanted to connect, but it also, at the same time, we started to depend on it and become more disconnected and lose even social skills. So when I had even started doing brand ambassador work at 18, I love doing brand ambassador work because you give free stuff to people all the time and you're educating people. But the way I saw it was I was giving free stuff. People love free stuff and it was making people happy. It made me happy. But, just going back to, I started realizing that as time went on, the first, second year, the first event I had was a Self magazine workout at the park, working for Maybelline and Garnier hair products. And people were very social. But as time went on, I started noticing that consumers started not even knowing how to be social with people that were placed in the store for you to purposely talk to. So technically you would think there wouldn't be a psychological barrier of, oh, this is a stranger. They're expected to be approached by you. But people started losing their social skills even more, to the point where, I noticed that people really weren't knowing how to connect, even in a consumer base, let alone in just relationships. And my brother seeing it at school, me seeing it with my friends. So we decided to do something about it. Jose had the vision of Blue Social, which is our DBA, but the company officially is called Follow Me Incorporated. And it was all under the whole idea of this way to stay connected and follow me on all these different accounts. And then it eventually evolved because of the realization even more that because of this disconnection, people started to feel lonely. Depression actually increased in society. And I'll actually be coming out with an article on how social media affects the psyche and can be linked or correlated to depression or signs of depression in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned on my LinkedIn for that. But loneliness really increased. Society became more disconnected, yet more connected digitally more than ever before. So that is why we created Blue. The whole vision of Blue is really to help people to connect digitally, but also to encourage individuals to go up to each other and connect in person and introduce themselves. And the way that we do it is we design the UI, UX in a way to really create a safe space, being a company that shares the values of, authenticity, integrity, human connection, and individuality, right? You can't have one without the other, because someone can be authentically bad, but they can't have integrity. But they'll be authentic in their own ways, right? So, and at the same time, we're very individualistic, but also it's really focusing on, well, just be you, be comfortable with being yourself. Don't feel like you have to portray a certain image to get to where you want to be. And then when it comes to human connection, I purposely didn't choose for the value to be called maximizing social opportunity, because I know that human behavior naturally, we already try to do that even in networking places right now. And that looks like is people handing out business cards left and right? And it's very transactional. No one wants to build a relationship with someone who is coming off like that, right? And so with our technology and with what we do, human connection is at the forefront, really just focusing on building the relationship in person. And it's not just maximizing social opportunities, more so than genuinely getting to know individuals, because you never know when an opportunity can occur. But at the same time, acting with integrity, being trustworthy, these are all values that we share with our current Blue social community now. And that's why everybody loves Blue so much. And we use Bluetooth technology and our auto networking technology that we designed, which is a software and a code that we have a proprietary patent on, to really introduce people and really foster that in-person connection.
Yeah, and if I may, I set up a video that kind of introduces Blues, just so people kind of have a physical aspect. I did order mine, and I got the notifications coming on Monday, so I wish I would have had it before the show to kind of demo it. But since I don't have it, I'm going to play this short video from YouTube. You guys can kind of watch it on your own. But this I think highlights what Blue Social is all about.
Hi, that's me, Jose. At least, that was me before Blue. Just another student, checking my social media, feeling disconnected and unknown. I was nothing more than another person on a college campus, walking by myself, studying by myself, and let's be totally honest, forgotten. Little did I know there was a better way, and that's when I was introduced to Blue.
Blue is a mobile app that introduces me up to 150 feet. Simply put, it turns my smartphone into a two-way beacon that connects me with everyone else. All I have to do is turn it on, slide it back in my pocket, and I'm good to go. You see what just happened there? We just exchanged social networks. It was that easy. Yep, just did it again.
Blue lets me passively exchange social networks. I no longer have to ask friends one by one for their social media profiles while losing the chance to meet someone new. Blue does that for me, and it creates a record of who I've met and who I've talked to. Even though everything is automatic, Blue puts me in control of what information I want to share. The best part about Blue, it uses Bluetooth Low Energy, so I don't have to worry about it draining my battery or not having signal, allowing me to connect with everyone, everywhere, anywhere, and anytime. Finally, physical and digital connections come together with a simple, useful, and friendly solution that helps you build relationships that last.
Get out of the outdated rut of missed opportunities, wasted time, and bad data. Instead, go out there and make connections that last. In a world of friends.
That was officially your brother, right?
That was my brother, my younger brother. Very proud of him.
Yeah, and he had the idea there, but I just wanted to highlight kind of what that was, as far as what the actual, it's a physical card, and it has that technology. I think I have a picture of you holding it up, just a second.
Yeah, so there's a card, and that's one thing where you can easily tap phone to phone. And then there's our networking mode that's embedded into the application itself.
Yeah.
The cool thing is that with the card, the person doesn't have to be on the app to be able to receive your social networks. At the same time, when you're on the app and you're introducing yourself through the networking mode to other Blue users, you still have the option to how you want to stay connected. So you can choose whether or not you want to connect on Instagram or Snapchat. And at the same time, the cool thing about Blue Social is that with our application, it's easier for everybody that has a card to really manage the information in real time. Because sometimes we may, want to share Snapchat and a YouTube channel, but sometimes we may want to be a little bit more professional or have a certain reason that maybe we're going to music and we really want to show our SoundCloud and to a specific audience. So we can really change the information in real time using the app, and it changes automatically right on your Blue Smart card or your Blue Smart product, any Blue Smart device in general.
Yeah, and that's
two differences. There's the Blue Smart card, and then there's the application and the networking mode in it. And that's what a lot of people love about Blue is our technology behind it, right? It's not just a card that you tap and exchange. Blue is so much more than that, and we're really a software and a technology behind it.
Yeah, and especially important as we get back into networking. Business, I think the core of it is networking. In order to generate more business, you just need to have more people in your circle. And that's just numbers, simple numbers, like the more people you know, the more opportunities you have. And so networking in itself has taken the biggest hit over this last year. And as we head into 2021, we're looking at reformatting what that looks like. Is that going to be smaller groups? Is that going to be not these lavish big events that we used to have? Is that going to be more concise? We're still kind of formulating that. But the important part that I see with this, with Blue Social and this particular device is the contactlessness. not necessarily, there was a little bit of a miss not shaking hands. You still kind of get that awkward, like, but I did that yesterday. We were talking to Dan, and, you have to be respectful for that. We did a couple fist bumps, and then sometimes you forget. You're like, oh yeah. You forget you take your hand back, and kind of, you come off as rude, I think, sometimes, but that's just our environment. And I think I'm grateful that most people kind of forgive that, but the contactless piece of that is important. We did, I think offline, we talked about the lead generation piece of that. Do you want to talk a little bit more about the other aspects of what Blue Social is all about?
Yeah. So on a business level, there's a lot of pluses to utilizing Blue's technology, specifically our Blue Smart Card, because we also have our software web end, which is called Blue Enterprise, which will be launching in the next couple weeks. And with that, it provides a lot more usability for businesses, whether small or large, even event organizers, right? So businesses themselves can utilize the Blue Smart Card in multiple ways. We have some companies that just replace all their business cards with the Blue Smart Card because they may be a real estate company and they're always printing out new business cards and always having new sales reps. There are also businesses that get the Blue Smart Card specifically for recruiters to utilize it for recruitment in field. And when they use it for recruitment in field, they're also utilizing some additional features in our Blue software itself, where you have the capability to custom how you want to receive leads and information from individuals that they connect with using their Blue Smart Card, to actually being able to track and be able to manage the leads and the data that you get from the people that are meeting and sharing their information with you for recruitment. At the same time, we also have a huge use for it for businesses when it comes to events, specifically for event organizers even.
That's us.
And with the Blue Social technology, they really like the networking mode aspect that their consumers get. So typically we've had some event organizers that have wanted to offer the Blue Smart Card as a VIP product that they're getting a gift for some of the attendees. Some of them will actually brand the Blue Smart Card with their brand and hand it out to all their attendees to allow attendees to easily connect. At the same time, we have some individuals that will integrate, a Blue Smart stand or a Blue Smart Card into a vendor package where vendors can utilize the technology as a way for contactless advertising or contactless marketing. More contactless marketing, because when it comes to contactless advertising, that's our Blue Beacon technology. And usually with event organizers, they will do a whole, it's called Events Powered by Blue. Basically, we come in, we really help to integrate and provide opportunities for the event organizers to utilize the technology to enhance the user's, the user experience at the event itself. So it's so much easier for the event attendees to connect. It's so much easier for the vendors to reach attendees or even stay connected with attendees. At the same time, they're able to even understand, social clusters of people and attendees and seeing who interacted with who at a certain point. Remind you that it's not GPS based, right? So you have users that are interacting with businesses, with other attendees, and even with Blue Beacons and advertising. Specifically, maybe where, a vendor's giving a whole deal offer, maybe the event organizer wants to educate you on a specific area of the trade show that you walked into, and all the vendors that are there. There's multiple ways to use Blue Beacon technology, especially, but it's definitely useful for businesses in general. We do even have some businesses that have asked us to integrate them into their access cards for their companies, which we are able to integrate Blue's technology with both RFID and NFC smart products.
Yeah, and there's so many different aspects and then different directions that I believe this can go, and as we approach the end of our second segment, I'm dying to ask more, but, we do have to take care of our sponsors too. I do want to mention, if you like what you're seeing, please keep hitting those heart emojis and giving us the love that we enjoy so much. Getting to our first giveaway, if you're listening and watching us now or on the replay, I'm going to post this. So this is the Blue Smart button. It does say coming soon, but it is released now. So the first question that I have, in order for you to win the blue Smart button on today's show, you have to go to the website. So you have to go to blue.social or click the link in the description in this broadcast, and it'll take you to the website. But the first question, if you go to the first page and you go down to that first paragraph, there's a statement there, and you have to fill in the blank. So you have to DM us with the answer or contact Gabby or Violet here. So the first question is, the Blue Social app uses what to preserve authentic social interactions in real life? In order to win the Blue Smart button, or one of two Blue Smart buttons today, answer the following question. You got to go to the website, down to that first paragraph. Blue Social app uses what to preserve authentic social interactions in real life? So if you answer that, you'll be the winner of today's first Smart button. The second Smart button giveaway will be towards the end of the show, so hang in there. We're going to be going to our sponsors. Keep hitting those comments and those questions. We'll get to them as we go along, but a word from our sponsor. I get my announcer voice on sometimes. So it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
I'm a perfectionist that understands that there's no such thing as perfection. I was, as an entrepreneur, sitting alone in an office. I was the owner, the managing partner, but who do I talk to? How do I find out that other people are really in the same boat? Let me create what I wanted, because that's what others are apparently going to want to. When you're doing business, it has to have a purpose. One of those purposes has to be fulfillment. How is what I'm doing affecting people? Here we are, a networking group where everybody wants to get together. It's why we network. We want to learn more. We want to make connections. Hi, my name's Dan Kite, and I'm the CEO of Workuity. And this is our CEO Network.
Yeah, I love Dan. He's got that announcer voice on him, man. If I could record him, if I could have him do some of my reads on the video work, that'd be awesome. But he's a busy guy. So Dan Kite from Workuity, tremendous partner. We're getting into a long-term relationship with Dan and Workuity. So I want to shout out to him and thank him. We did have a meeting yesterday, and things are looking great. We have some announcements coming up regarding that. It's just looking great for 2021. I know things looked great last year for 2020. But, things happen. So now we're getting through that. But welcome to the last segment of the show. We're welcoming back Christen from Blue Social. This is the question and answer section. So you guys can answer your questions or whatever you want to comment on anything we've talked about. But I think the first question for me, and again, it goes back to kind of a counselor. You're probably the office counselor. But, in my drive for connection has always been like, and this took a lot of self-evaluation. It's always been directed by disappointment. It's kind of crazy. When you get to a point in your business and as an entrepreneur, you have these moments of self-reflection and you use those things that held you back before, and you use them to push through and drive you to the business and where you need to be. My biggest challenge has always been disappointment. So it's a long story and it's all involved, but it's kind of interesting. And you reach an epiphany in your life when you understand, like, these things, like I said, that held you back now kind of help you push forward. Have you reached those epiphanies yourself and kind of use your own, what you've learned about psychology and human interaction to really see what drives you in your business?
Yeah. Well, I've always been a very passionate person, so I kind of live my life through passion. That's kind of my personality. So sometimes I'll take risks that are kind of not logical. But at the same time, I apply a lot of what I learn. It does get difficult, honestly, because when it comes to your own life, you're also dealing with your own internal struggles, your own traumas, your own triggers. But I think that having that awareness and being able to kind of step out of it really helps to take that step of growth. I think I've learned a lot from really learning how to delegate, right? So one of the things I talk about in the entrepreneurial mindset when I'm speaking is, as we develop as leaders in an organization, as an entrepreneur, we start off and we want to do everything. We want to do it all. And as we grow, there will become a point where we can't do it all. And we have to surrender and learn to delegate, learn to trust, learn to build. Because you can't just delegate without teaching or coaching a little bit. And you can't build without creating a bottom standard or a bottom line, right? So there's a change of mindset that has to happen. And it's not that you are not capable of doing it or that you're inadequate. It's just learning how to be a leader and understanding that you're not going to know it all, and that's okay. You're not going to have the answers. You're not always going to know what you're doing, and that's okay. And being able to sit in that uncomfortability is really hard for many people, you know, but the biggest thing someone can do is really become comfortable with being uncomfortable, because with life, that's how life happens. Life's unpredictable. Things will happen. Process your emotions right, feel them, but also tune back into your heart and your soul and yourself.
I think that the biggest path is always like, you know, so much of my past has always been projecting to somebody and blaming something or situation. And you realize, especially after a long time of, you know, therapy, honestly, but after a lot of reflection, it's almost like a frustration in a way. It's like, why didn't I learn this before? You know, why didn't I take these chances? And, you know, do you remember that moment where you finally said, hey, you know what, I'm just going to take that chance and go into whatever that endeavor was, win or lose, you just went. Do you remember that moment?
Yeah, I can share a moment. So when me and my brother were, you know, 2 years in, we got asked to audition on Shark Tank, and we flew all the way to Washington, D.C. to go audition. And basically, long story short, we got through. We were setting up dates for production, and the production date that got selected, a couple months before that, I had got nominated for the Filipino Women's Network award that they give out in London. And I didn't know what it was because I was skeptic. And I've done Miss California USA. I'm not a pageant person, but after having experiences like that, I understand how sometimes things can be ingenuine. And so when it came to that, I basically was nominated. Then I got told I was getting the award. And the day that I was supposed to be going and receiving the award, it happened to be the same day that the production for Shark Tank landed. And, you know, I was so torn because my brother, he wanted to do it. He really did. And I did too, you know, but I was so because at the same time, I was like, oh my gosh, I have this opportunity. And it was so good that I couldn't even believe that it was real. And do I take the chance? Do I fly across the country and say, you know what, producers, you know, reschedule, knowing that they're most likely not going to reschedule? Or do I not? And I just prayed about it. I thought about it. And something in my gut feeling just said, you know what, go. Because I was even asking my brother and my dad, you know, we were trying to make it work. And at a certain point, I said, you know what, I'm going. It doesn't matter what you guys say. I'm going to go to London. I'm sorry. Please tell them to reschedule. And I went, and it was the best decision that I could have made in my life, because getting the award I got at the level of prestige at such a young age, it was just so surreal. I mean, I was at the Pancreas in London, and you know, that's one of the wealthiest hotels, and like some of the biggest people go there, and it was just amazing. And I don't care about all that stuff, and so I didn't expect it. I was very skeptic even, and just, it was amazing, honestly. And meeting all the women that I met there, you know, one of the women, she was at the time the president of the organization. She is Susie Casada. She is a Filipino woman that runs Ramar Foods, which is one of the largest retail grocery brands in the Philippines. And she took over her father's business.
Oh,
And
wow.
to see a woman like her, and she's still so young, and she's president, and then she's also president of this organization, and then seeing even the people that were on the board. I mean, I met so many wonderful people from all across the world, from Switzerland, people who are councilmen in other countries,
Yeah.
to women that were just doing big things. It's amazing.
Do you think it's tough being a woman as an entrepreneur? Do you think there's unique challenges to what you're doing versus, we don't need to compare to each other, but I'm sure like growing up, with your brother, there was always rivalry. I always used to compare myself to my brother too, and everything he did, I always tried to do 10 times better. But, is there unique challenges, being a female and, possibly even being compared to your brother and what he's doing?
Yeah, me and my brother don't really get compared to. And we never really did that as siblings. Or I'm the older one, so I guess I can't really speak for him, but I never did.
You
I
have to
think
put him in his place.
like his Instagram, he will say that he did everything that I did. He even did dance at one point and danced with me, and we were at doing straight ballet and all kinds of stuff.
Hey, I've been there too. I'd done ballet too, so I'm not shy like that.
Yeah. But yeah, every day, it's a struggle being a woman in business, honestly. There's, sexism that happens. There's many of times where I've been disregarded. I can't tell you how I've gone to events and people thought I was my brother's eye candy, and being retreated in that way as if I was just, some kind of escort there to show off while he's there smoozing with all the guys. I think for me though, I'm kind of comfortable being in a group or in a room of men because that's all I grew up with. I have no sisters. And so that really plays a big part, but definitely even, a lot of us women deal with when we stand up for something, we get told we're controlling or being loud or aggressive. And
yeah, like you're excused in a way. Yeah.
What was that?
Like you're excused or dismissed for just being vocal or trying, or,
sometimes are just right out not listened to. And that's in just business in general, not to say like Blue Social specifically, but when, dealing with investors, we even had people that didn't take me and my brother seriously because of our age, so we deal with ageism.
You are 20,
we
so.
deal with racism, being, Latino and Filipino, and, even not getting as much highlight into the press because we're minorities, even though you would think that it would be the opposite. So it's really interesting, but definitely as a woman, there's a lot of things that we go through and I go through every day. But, it's really important to just really be confident in yourself. That's one of the things that I learned, was not to take what everyone thought of me or said to me to my heart. I would always take it to the heart and think, wow, is that really me? Is that really, am I really just so out of touch? And learning to really just be truly confident and stand your ground and not let people shake you, because especially being in tech and right now with everything happening, people are out to get you and find ways to tear you down, even if you're doing nothing wrong but sharing a story.
Yeah, and I do see a lot of women taking kind of the entrepreneurial roles. They're kind of doing dual roles, being the house mom, especially if they have kids right now with school being kind of out of commission, and then, trying to find their own career, find their own steps. I believe there's an equal role to both parents. And I do see that kind of, as I speak to other entrepreneurs that are women, they're faced with similar challenges like that. So it's kind of nice to know that I feel for them that you've been through that too, and still being successful on it. And then, I guess working with your family is pretty unique, right? You got there's your brother there, and then you got your dad there too.
Yeah, and if I could share the little story about my dad actually and me is, when I went off to college, I had no idea what college he graduated from. I didn't really know what he did for a living. I just knew when I was growing up, he traveled, he'd bring me Beanie Babies or rocks that I collected. And he was always gone. And then at one point he worked locally and stopped flying. But I really never knew what he did. And then when I was in college, I found out he went to MIT. And, and I had no idea because he didn't tell me. That wasn't why I went to college. I just went to college. I don't even know how I ended up being curious in going to college. It was just honestly being at the career center in my high school and becoming part of ASB and having a teacher saying, hey, look at these books, and me trying to just, okay, let me find the schools I think I like based off of their social culture.
Yeah.
I want to have fun, you know? But yeah, definitely my dad, he grew up in Mexico, came over as an immigrant and grew up in La Puente and went to high school in La Puente and got admitted to MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, one of the top schools. And I still don't know how he did it. He graduated with a chemical engineer and business management background, and then later went off to get more, degrees and credentials.
Yeah. Well, your mom is Latina too, right? And
my mom's Filipina, so she's from the Philippines.
And he's Hispanic. I think that's what one was from Mexico, right? He was from Mexico.
Yeah, my dad's from Mexico. Yep. And my grandpa, he was a gardener here in the U.S., but he used to be an accountant, and I'm very proud to have a family that comes from where we come from. I know a lot of people may look down on it, but I would say, like, we did things right, they came over legally.
Yeah.
They participated in the system, even got an education. So yeah, I'm really proud of my parents and where they've gotten. And I think for me, my whole goal is really to build generational wealth. My goal isn't to get rich. My goal isn't really necessarily to retire, because I need to learn something new every day, and I need to do something new every day. I can't not do nothing every single day. So even if I do nothing, my retirement is teaching,
Yeah.
something still.
Yeah, I always envision my retirement, and I don't see myself just sitting around, reading newspapers or, actually, I don't know if there can be newspapers then, but, I do know what you mean. It's coming to the end of the show. And there's always so much, that I never really get to. And again, I had a whole list of stuff there. I did get a verbal commitment to being at our next networking event. Yeah. Look at that. Got a smile too. So I want to get to one more segment because we're got 2 more minutes. If I may, I want to thank Insight Productions as well as Desodia for being part of today's show. If it wasn't for Desodia and the things that they do for our social media marketing, we wouldn't be where we're at. Insight Productions, thank you for the video audio today. If you want to be part of, if you want to market your business here with us at Our CEO Network, we create your marketing videos, offer you social media management support, and highlight you at our events such as today's call. Instant message us here at Facebook at Our CEO Network for details about becoming a sponsor and marketing opportunities. So as we get to the end of the show, Ms. Christen, I will promote you a little bit. To stay connected with you, I put this together.
We have one more giveaway.
Yes, we have one more giveaway, yes. So if you want to contact Christen here, contact her on LinkedIn. I think it's Christen, her picture's there. Yep. Also on Instagram at CCMontero13, which I just followed you today. That's why you got all those pictures. And again, if you got any double taps, and from years ago, that was me. Sorry, I was trying to get stuff for the show. Also email Christen at blue.social. And if you want to go to the website, the link is in the description today. We do have one more giveaway. So we had one of 2 blue buttons, and let me go back to that picture real quick. So these blue button technology, do you want to explain real quick what it's all about again?
Yep, so it connects directly to your phone. All you have to do is tap it to another phone, and it instantly shares all your social networks and any additional information that you'd like. Then it gives the opportunity for somebody to share them back with you. And then you can easily save them directly into your phone contacts with a seamless experience.
Yep. And if you were paying attention to that last slide that I just took down, the next question that you have to answer, you can either go to the website on the link in the description of this broadcast, or you can go to blue.social.com or blue.social, not .com, just blue.social.
Yep.
The second question you have to answer, and you'll DM us or put it in the comments section, will be Christen's brother. He is the CEO of Blue Social. What is his first name? It's as simple as that. And Christen's not eligible because she knows it. But if you answer that question, or if you answer the other question, go back in the broadcast. It's in our second segment. Be the winner of one of the 2 Blue Social buttons, and we'll get it sent out to you. I did order mine. It's in the mail. I will get it Monday, and I'll be sharing with everybody how my experience is. But because we're at the end of our show, Ms. Christen, you get the last word.
No, honestly, stay focused, and all you need to do is believe in yourself.
That's the best I can say it. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Ms. Christen, we'll be in contact for sure. You'll be hearing from me. So if I'm bothering you too much, just please give me the knock. But thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day, and we'll catch you guys next week.